Hi there everybody, this is David and welcome to New RPG News. Just like I said last time, we have a special guest! Hey!
What's up, David? Hi guys, my name is Bltzz. I make videos on YouTube about RPGs, mostly Final Fantasy, but my biggest thing that I'm wanting and I can't wait for is Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which drops pretty soon, so looking really excited.
Yeah, this is great. And he's in town for TwitchCon, which we are going to this weekend. Whenever you see this video on Saturday, we're going to be at TwitchCon together. So if you happen to be in Las Vegas like we are, come over and say hello to us.
Yeah.
And speaking of 7 Rebirth, do we want to tell the viewers what we were able to do while we're here in town?
Yes, actually, I kind of want to brag about it.
Do it! Brag, go!
Oh my gosh, Square Enix is giving us an opportunity to finally get to play Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. We'll be able to play the TGS demo that everybody got to play from the Junon section and the Nibelheim portion.
Yep.
And if you guys are familiar with my content, you guys know that I love Final Fantasy VII Remake. I made tons of guides and videos on like how to get better, how to break the game and do all that stuff. So being able to do this and get my hands on Rebirth, my brain's already turning. I want to be able to start those videos sooner than later. Right?
I actually got to play it today, the day that we're recording it. I got to play it today. I just came from that and whew, great time. So do look forward to videos on that from both of us in the coming weeks.
Yes.
So let's talk about news. We have a lot of stuff to talk about today. We're going to start with Ys 8. There's an officially licensed Ys 8 novel, and it is available right now. They took the story of the game and they turned it into a novel form. Have you ever played the Ys series or Ys 8?
No, I'm not familiar with it.
Really?
But this looks really nice.
Oh yeah, this is an action RPG, stars Adol Christian, and basically every single entry in the Ys series is a portion of his journey. And it's a fun series. It's been going on since like the NES days, since I was a little kid. So it's been going for a long time. But now they are novelizing the series, and it is just really freaking cool. And apparently, Falcom themselves actually want more novelizations. There are more Ys game novelizations are possible and are being discussed, says the Falcom president. He personally wants novelizations of Ys 9 and Ys 10. So, considering that the Ys games are all based upon journals of Adol's adventures, it completely makes sense to me to have, a novel for each of the games, That would be neat if we have a game collection of the Ys series, all 10 of them, and then, books next to them. How cool is that? And I'm going to include a link in the video description to purchase the novel right here. You can get a Kindle version for $4.95, a hardcover version for $34.95, or a paperback for $19.95. So if you want to support the channel at the same time and also get you a copy of this awesome frickin' book, be sure to check out that link.
Isn't it an amazing time that we're living in right now? Where, things like this can exist, where a game can come back or a series can come back, get a whole entire novel, which I'm pretty sure they're probably going to add some more backstory and lore.
That, so. Because it's so much easier to just write some extra lore and background into it than it is to create it into a game. So I think that's really freaking neat.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
You got me interested now.
Good. I've already made a video on this, but I just wanted to briefly talk about this right now since we are in the news, and Suikoden 3 has a fan HD remaster that has been announced. This is from YouTuber W Vincent, and he has a lot of pedigree behind him insofar as he has done HD remaster mods for a lot of other titles, including Xenogears, Dawn of Mana, The Alliance, Alive, and more. And now, this isn't just a straight up HD remake. Importantly, it has battle fast forwarding included, thank God, because man, you know how early PS2 RPGs were?
Yeah.
And how slow those battles were?
It's an absolute necessity.
Oh yeah, 100%. Suikoden 3 was like the poster child for the slowest battles known to man.
Really?
So,
it was PS2?
Yeah, this is a PS2 game.
So even slower than Final Fantasy 9?
That one was really slow too. But at least you didn't have to watch all 6 of your characters run around the field before they whack somebody over the head.
Yeah, you're right.
know? So, like, oh my gosh. Man, Final Fantasy IX. Let's pan over here and pan over here, then pan to the back, and then watch them jump up and down before they do their attacks. Yeah,
they got like super cinematic with everything. It was hilarious. I honestly, like, coming from 7 and 8 to that, I was like, all right, when is the battle start?
I know. I remember that took forever. Have you ever played Suikoden 3?
I haven't played 3. It is on my list because I do this thing where I play old school RPGs on like the streams. Okay. Mostly streams. I don't really make like content on it. Yeah. Sometimes I do. But
I do.
But like but a lot of people make suggestions on like which one I should play next. Suikoden, the series itself, is on that list, but I will definitely be playing this version when this officially drops. Yeah. Are they like are they standalone titles, or do you have to?
It's kind of like the Trails series. Have you ever played the Trails series?
No, but I've heard of them. I know how. I know how they
so
work.
It's kind of thematic insofar as each of them, they take place in the same world at roughly the same time periods, but on different continents. Yeah. Or different areas. So other people, like there's this one character, George, who is in basically every single one of them. Vicky, she's in every single one of them. She's the person who's like the teleporter or whatever. So there are characters who are always there, but some of them take place in the grasslands, some of them take place in like the Falena southern continent, some of them take place on the island continents and everything else like that. So there's just different places, but it's in the same world at roughly the same times, or maybe within a year or two of each other or so. So there is a lot of lore.
I like that
there.
Yeah, you'll hear background mentions of things that went down in the other game and stuff like that. I like that. That's pretty cool.
So you'll hear about wars that happened in like Suikoden 2, in Suikoden 3, and stuff like that. So it's a pretty neat series. I think that you'll enjoy it.
Yeah, for sure. My cousins have played Suikoden 2, and I watched them play it a lot, and it was a very interesting game to see them go through, because we grew up playing like RPGs in the late 90s, early 2000s-ish. So to see that, like what fans are capable of now, this is
it's crazy. It's crazy. Suikoden 2, if you've already experienced that one, you've already experienced one of the best ones. I think the 2 is up there with 5. I think they're both fantastic. 2 is one of the best RPGs of all time, really. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Does one like this exist for 2?
Not that I'm aware of. However, Konami is making their own Suikoden 1 and 2 HD that's coming out. They don't have a release date yet, because Ayuden Chronicles came out. You know what Ayuden Chronicles? Okay, so that came out, and that beat its Kickstarter, and then Konami noticed that, and that's the spiritual successor to Suikoden. And so then Konami's like, you know what? We're going to remake Suikoden 1 and 2 as well. But then Ayuden Chronicles got delayed. So then Suikoden 1 and 2 got delayed as well. So they're playing like this little game with each other and everything now.
Gotcha.
So maybe if that is successful, then Konami will do an official HD remaster of 3, 4, and 5. We shall see. We don't know. But right now, it is very exciting.
Those are some really great features I see. They have an autosave feature, the battle fast forward, which we mentioned already. They actually went and they did the battle sound effects HD as well too.
Yeah, nice. That's neat. That's pretty cool. I like that. Walmart is reportedly discontinuing its physical games in 2024, getting rid of specifically Xbox games next year. This actually comes from a tweet from the CEO of Limited Run Games. He says in his tweet, I would expect to see this trend continue in 2024. I've heard rumblings that Walmart is dropping physical Xbox games soon, and I have to imagine further cuts to physical game sections will be made as we get deeper into next year. He said this in response to what I talked about last week whenever Best Buy was talking about getting rid of their physical media, their CDs, their television shows, their movies. They still said that we're not getting rid of games yet, but we know how this trend is. And Target has already said that they're getting rid of theirs, and now Walmart, so slippery slope right here. I personally don't have an Xbox because they don't really have any exclusives. The only Xbox that I ever had was an Xbox 360. What's your deal with the Xbox?
I try to play everything, right? I try to play from Nintendo, PC is my main platform, but PlayStation and Xbox. And I've had the privilege to be able to own all of them. But my Xbox just collects dust.
Yeah.
Like it literally. I have a Series X. Actually, I bought a Series X, and I bought it specifically for Lost Odyssey.
Lost Odyssey. Hey.
Yeah, I just because they have the backwards compatibility feature, right? So, somebody I was telling them earlier. Somebody was selling Lost Odyssey online for like $100, which I thought was like ridiculous. Mm-hmm. So I ended up finding like a GameStop in Iowa or something like that. some other state, because I live in Florida, but like some other state had it and they shipped it to me for $10. So I paid like $13 altogether for Lost Odyssey.
Wow.
It's I did boot it up, I did play it, but like I put the Xbox back in the box and it hasn't left since then.
You know what? Lost Odyssey and Blue Dragon, they need to get ported to the PC.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sick of this.
I don't know why they haven't done that yet.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. The 2 games, they're great. They need to get ported. This is crazy.
You know what's a big reason why this is happening?
Why?
With the digital media? And I hate to... It's kind of like... It's weird to put into words, but... Earlier, remember I said, isn't it great this day and age that we live in right now? Mm-hmm. This is the issue with this day and age.
Exactly.
Unfortunately, this is the negative part about it. Where like... A lot of companies are shifting to digital because they save more money. They save more money not having to make physical copies of things and manufacture that and ship those things out, right?
And do they pass those savings along to the consumer and make digital copies cheaper than their physical copies?
They should.
They should. Do they? No.
Sometimes it's even more.
I know. It's like, oh my gosh, it boggles my mind.
But here's the gift and the curse when it comes to Xbox, because Game Pass, right? Majority of the Xbox games are played digitally. That's what they're going for. That's what they're going towards. Everybody. Game Pass is great. Like, you have so much access to a lot of titles that you can't play easily these days, right? But majority of people are playing it on their PlayStation. Majority of people are playing it on their PCs. Majority of people are playing it on their Xboxes, but they're not actually playing the physical disc. So they're like, save some money.
I know. And then I have some people who are like, oh, I really just don't feel like, getting up and getting a game and reaching my arm. Oh my gosh, it's so. Oh, I'm so put out. I'm like,
that's how he got this swole, right?
Yeah. Square Enix continues to struggle as stock plummets below 5,000 yen, which is roughly about $33 per share. So it's not doing so well. It has lost 30% of its value in the last month. And it says this drop came right after the release of Final Fantasy 16. But it's just not doing all that well, whereas some other Japanese publishers, such as Capcom, have seen a 10 times increase in their stock over the past decade. But Square Enix, nope. They're not doing so hot, but it also says that it could also be attributed to poor releases such as Forspoken and just declining interest in their existing library as well. And then they were hoping that Final Fantasy 16 would sell beyond expectations in order to recoup those losses, but as we all know, it didn't sell beyond, it just sold to its expectations. So yeah, gosh, like that sucks. Square Enix, they're, as much as people want to bitch about them, they're a good company. They put out RPGs, and I like their RPGs that they put out,
Yeah, I'm a fan of their stuff too. Yeah. I think they're kind of stuck in a weird place right now, right? Because with the new president coming in, he's making all kinds of shifts and changes that are going to benefit them in the long run. They're going to take some losses right now. Yeah. Right? They're not going to be putting out a whole lot of stuff. No. Because they did pull the plug on a lot of like lower developed titles.
There was an article that we went over on the news show a couple of months ago where they were saying that they're only going to be focusing on AAA titles. Yeah. And not a lot of AA or just normal titles. Only AAAs.
Right, right. Which is unfortunate, but at the end of the day, they're trying to make back some money from like what happened with Forspoken and Babylon's Fall and Marvel's Avengers, and there's one more, Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh my gosh!
So Guardians was actually a good game.
Was it?
Yeah,
I never played it.
But it unfortunately, surprisingly, because how much they marketed that game. That game was at every single showcase. It was Guardians and Deathloop were the most advertised games.
Really?
Like I think Deathloop's made by, what is it, Bethesda or something like that? I forget who makes
not
Deathloop,
my wheelhouse.
But those two games, right, two different companies, were just everywhere, plastered everywhere, being advertised. It's just, unfortunately,
the thing is with Square Enix is I don't think that they understand that they need to stay in their lane, and their lane is JRPGs, and they want to be like everything to everybody. Like, what's their latest game? That Foam Stars game?
Yeah.
Where they're like,
yeah,
it's like Splatoon or whatever, and they're just like shooting people with foam or whatever, and like, yeah, it looks cool, but whenever you think of Square Enix, do you think of Foam Stars?
No, not at all.
No!
But like I said, I think those changes will benefit them more in the long run. Right now, like Foam Stars and titles like that are still leftovers from the previous
from the previous regime.
Shit.
Yeah.
And they're trying to. They even said like they want to get back to doing what they're good at, what they're known for, and I think that's ultimately the best direction that they could honestly take.
That is what they need to do. They need to go back to the basics. I agree.
Yeah. A lot of these articles are hilarious because they always attribute Final Fantasy 16 somewhere within there, but it's not necessary. Like 16 didn't actually lose them a lot of money.
No,
believe it or not,
if it sold as expected, then it gained them money.
Yeah, and on top of that too, they saved a lot of money on development and a lot of money on marketing because Sony, and they've said this in many interviews before, Sony fronted a lot of costs for developing the engine, right, getting it to work and function on PlayStation 5, and the marketing, state of plays, all those trailers. It always says branded by Sony. Yeah, and ultimately they met the expectations of the sales they were trying to hit, and on top of that, they saved a chunk of money. And like you guys have to understand, like marketing is very expensive. It's very expensive. It's not as expensive as the development process of things, but it's still pretty chunky, and they helped out with both of those things. And I kind of want to talk about like the Capcom bit that they were talking about. Like Capcom 10 times, like that. Capcom's in a huge resurgence. Like I'm super happy for them because for a long time things weren't looking so great. No. They really hit a huge company resurgence with Monster Hunter, right? Monster Hunter is like one of the biggest games in the world right now.
They sold a ton of their Mega Man Battle Network games too.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
They
awesome.
sold over 1 million copies of the Mega Man Battle Network thing. So they're going to be doing more Mega Man RPGs.
That's
which
massive.
is,
That's massive right there.
Yeah.
That put a smile on my face.
I love it.
Between that, Resident Evil 4 Remake, and Street Fighter. Street Fighter 6. They're giving away, what is it, $2 million is there a championship prize for for the end of the season of Street Fighter 6?
God, why did I choose? I need a career change. I need to go play some Chun-Li in Street Fighter 2 and kick some ass and win $2 million. Like, oh my god,
she's top tier right now, so you can go ahead and do that.
I was a Chun-Li boy playing her in a Street Fighter 2. Like,
yeah, but ultimately, I do think Square Enix is in a rough looking spot right now, but it won't be for too long because they're gonna start getting the ball rolling with Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and whatever other titles they may have in the foreseeable future that could really change the narrative that we're seeing right now.
Pillars of Dust Rising is going to Switch next week, which is, honestly, it's already next week because I'm behind on the news. So sue me! It's already released. It's a turn-based traditional JRPG. It originally released on the PC back in 2020. It is now available digitally over on the Switch for $7. This is like just a traditional turn-based JRPG, and it also says that you have dual protagonists, and you can play as both of them. And I think this is funny. It says the game also features a chicken nugget-based economy. So, like, games like this, I don't know if you're into like NES-style games or these really old-school games, but I like them. They remind me of my childhood. Like, that's what I grew up on. Like, I like them. Would you play a game like this?
Yeah, absolutely. So coming from the RPG background, we have to thank that, like my family specifically, with emulators, and we were playing a lot of like NES, SNES, like RPGs back in the day. We would download random ones and some of the bigger titles too. A lot of these games have so much charm in them, and I think them bringing it to Switch is a huge deal because RPGs.
This would work perfectly on the Switch.
Yeah. RPGs, JRPGs, like that turn-based style does pretty well on the Nintendo Switch, and a lot of people want to play these on the go.
Yeah, this is a perfect on-the-go game. Really is.
Coral Island launches November 14th for the PS5, Xbox, and PC. It's also going to be available on the Xbox Game Pass. This is leaving early access, and then you can go ahead and play it. This is one of those cozy games, if you know what I mean. It was first launched for the PC via Steam and the Microsoft Store on October 11th of 2022, so some of you may have already seen this game before if you're into these cozy games. It says, I'm just going to read this about section. It's time to leave big city life and Pokio behind and start a new chapter of your life on Coral Island. Be who you want and create the idyllic farm of your dreams, where you'll tend crops, nurture animals, and build a bond with the natural world around you. Help revitalize the nearby town and surrounding coral reefs and forge relationships with a vibrant community of more than 70 fellow people who call Coral Island home. Do you play these farming sim games, Harvest Moon-y, Stardew Valley-y games or anything?
No. Most recently, is Animal Crossing considered that?
I would say Animal Crossing is, yeah.
I kind of played that on my cousin's like Switch, but like most recently, the most recent one that I played was Harvestella.
Oh, I liked Harvestella.
Yeah, I made the mistake of trying to stream it.
Oh, I don't know if that's the best streaming game.
Yeah,
let's farm for the next hour.
Exactly. Yeah, and it started off cool. I was like, okay, this I can get into this, But as time went on, like it's a cozy game.
Yeah,
I just got really comfortable, and I was kind of like falling asleep while playing it, and I think my chat was falling asleep.
Oh
too.
no.
But I had a good time with it.
Hey, as long as you have a good time with it. To
Yeah.
me, it was more like a combat mana thing. I didn't spend too much time on the farm, but I had a good time with Harvestella.
Yeah.
Persona 5 Tactica details quests, replay, and a new game plus. You can replay all your cleared stages to grind, earn experience, money, more personas, all that kind of stuff. It's going to have a main quest. There's going to be some side quests. It talks, get ready for fun quests. So, of course, there's going to be side quests, different challenges that you have to do. This game is coming out November 17th. And you had no idea, did you?
No.
No clue.
This is blowing my mind.
Yeah.
I was thinking, okay, is this the one that's locked to like the Chinese regions? But no, this is a full-fledged game. I had no idea this was in the works. For those watching, I love tactics style games.
Yeah.
Like I'm really into that. And if this has any type of depth like that while combining like the Persona elements of their individual turn base, I think this might be a gem.
Oh yeah, this looks great. I mean, November's packed. We have Star Ocean 2, we have Mario RPG, we got Tactica. Like, it is packed, which is great because October was kind of like, nah. So
this is absolutely my November game.
This is your November. So this is his November game. This is one of my November games, but like my November game is Star Ocean 2, followed very shortly by Mario RPG. You know me and my retro RPGs, I will play a retro RPG a million times before I play a brand new RPG. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. I don't know. But this is like, this is a tactics RPG with the characters of Persona 5 with the kind of a, to me it looks like Final Fantasy Tactics, the way that the boards are all set up and everything, the stages and everything. Like, I'm shocked that you didn't know about this.
They got the charm down pack and now they have my wallet.
There you go. This is coming out for the PS5, Xbox, PS4, Switch, and PC November 17th.
And Xbox Game Pass.
Yep.
Look at that.
They're all coming out for Xbox Game Pass every time we turn around.
My God.
Unicorn Overlord. A lot of people are looking forward to this one, me included. This is a strategy RPG. It's beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous, made by Vanillaware, and you know that they make really good quality games. Now, this has a T rating because of jiggle physics. You gotta jiggle your boobies.
They have their priorities in order. Like, that's gonna sell the game, bro. That's 100% going to sell the game.
Are you gonna buy this game simply because of the jiggle physics now?
Of course.
Hopefully it's not just female jiggle physics. Hopefully, turnabout's fair play. We get male jiggle physics. We'll see. It says the T for teen rating is for blood, revealing female designs, and language are highlighted. For instance, the word
bastard will appear. So that says things are going to get intense. So yeah, this I just think that it looks like a classic JRPG, and this is right up my alley. Have you heard about this one yet?
I have not, but honestly, Jiggle Physics has my interest peaked. I can't lie. It does look really cool. I love the aesthetic of it.
Beautiful? Yeah, it's very ogre battle-y.
This is
very real-time strategy.
unique. Oh, and it's made by Atlas.
Yeah, Atlas,
okay.
Vanillaware. Yeah, it says the rebirth of tactical fantasy RPGs. As if we don't have enough tactical RPGs. We have 1 billion of them. But this is coming out March 8th of next year.
Okay, so it's quite a ways away, but like
you have some time.
You get enough time to enjoy like other titles before that, and then you can dedicate like March to that.
Yeah. So basically, get enough time to finish Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Boom, Unicorn Overlord. I think that's gonna be the schedule.
Yeah.
We have a rumor that Nintendo Switch 2 is codenamed NG and will release September of next year. It says here that it's going to be releasing as a launch title with Final Fantasy VII, a camera feature, backwards compatibility. Thank God, because we need backwards compatibility. I can't believe that they would ever release it without backwards compatibility. And it says, among other features. A new leak suggests that the new Nintendo console is codenamed NG and will come with 2 models, one being physical, the other being digital. The physical version of the Switch 2 will be $450, while the digital only will be $400. Do you believe this rumor? What do you think about this?
I think this needs to come sooner than later. My God, like a lot of early on in my content creation sphere, I loved playing Smash Bros. I loved playing it. I loved making videos on it. Most part and reason why I stopped is because of how limited the Nintendo Switch in general was as far as like online capabilities goes.
Yeah.
The internet sucked.
Yeah.
Like every single time like you're playing in a match, it doesn't even have to be Smash. It's a lot of their network-based games just don't run properly, and I hope that's a big focus for them with this, because
I wouldn't hold my breath.
With the Switch right now, it's virtually, not want to say impossible, because there is one game that does it, but it's limited to specific game modes. But roll back netcode, okay, which would help their netcode out a lot and just make things so much better than being delay based. I really hope that's a big focus with this, and like I said, I hope it comes sooner than later. The title saying that it launches with Final Fantasy VII is kind of hilarious, because what if it's just Final Fantasy VII original and not like remake?
That would be hysterical.
Because they didn't put a remake on there.
Well, we got another rumor a couple of weeks ago saying that Final Fantasy VII Remake would be a launch title.
Okay.
So I think that that's what they're referring to right here. This whole thing about the Switch 2, like, Nintendo's always been so kind of backwards with their online, so I think it's interesting that you bring that up as your thing, because me personally, I play single-player games for the most part, don't play a lot of online, so it really doesn't matter to me as far as online is concerned, but I know that Nintendo needs to get with the times, because that is where things are headed towards, you know?
It blew my mind. They started charging for online now. And
Did
it's
they?
like, yeah, it's $20 for the year, so it's not that
Oh, that's
bad.
right. Yeah.
But it's like, okay, what are we paying for?
Exactly.
Mostly the cloud. And I think you need to pay for that if you want to access their NES classics.
Yeah, don't you get
catalog?
NES, SNES, now they have N64 and some Game Boy stuff on there.
So they've added more
so
bang
it's
for
not
your buck.
That. I mean, yeah, you get 20. Yeah,
but it's like,
terrible.
You're not getting any like benefits, like any improvements towards the network capabilities, because the hardware is so limited.
Yeah.
But as far as names goes, I feel like they'd be shooting themselves in the foot if they didn't call it a Super Nintendo Switch.
Oh, they have to. They have to, because I mean that's what you had the NES, you had the SNES, and then the N64 was like, psh, well, because they should have called it something else, like the SNES 2 or something. Like they need to keep with this naming convention.
Yeah.
But don't fuck it up like they did with the Wii naming convention from Wii to Wii U.
Yeah.
They should have called that a Super Wii. Like, don't screw it up, Nintendo.
We could be the marketers.
One job. Exactly.
Hilarious story, actually.
What's
When the Xbox One came out, I was a vendor in Best Buy, and it was Black Friday time, so a lot of people are coming in. Hey, I want to get my my kid an Xbox 360.
Yeah.
And they're like, "You sure you want an Xbox 360?" They're like, "Yeah, I want the Xbox 360." So they'll buy the Xbox 360, and they'll come back a couple hours later, and they're like, "What the hell? I wanted the new Xbox." Like,
yeah.
Yeah, the Xbox One.
Yeah.
Like, why would the one be called Xbox? Why the new one is called Xbox One and the old one is called 360? Like, so many people were so confused by that.
I ranted about a month or two ago because they were talking about raising prices for the Xbox Series X versus the Xbox Series S, and I was like, what is the difference? Like, and I'm like, if I don't know what the difference is, how are other people going to know what the difference is? Like, give me a break. Like, what is wrong with these marketing people?
It's an enigma. They'll never figure it out.
It really is. And now for our last story of the day. Zelda Ocarina of Time. I know, not a JRPG. Don't come at me, people. It's a story. Give me a break. Has an Unreal Engine remake available to download right now. So yeah, if you grew up on this game and this is like your jam, you might want to be able to replay it. It says that Unreal Engine remakes are coming thick and fast, and this one takes us on a tour of Kakariko Village, Death Mountain Trail, and Goron City. It's an Unreal Engine 5.3.1 remake of Zelda Ocarina of Time from the modder and creator CryZenX. This is just the latest version of the remake. You'll be able to fight several enemies, explore environments, and of course use the ocarina. It is not a full-blown remake yet. This is just portions of the game. Have you played the original Ocarina of Time?
Absolutely. I'm blown away right now at this footage. I wasn't looking at it before, but my god, this modder, cool? This dude needs to be hired. Like, this is so awesome.
Nintendo should hire them, like, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, personally, me, I'm not a huge fan of 3D Zeldas. I prefer my Zeldas 2D. And every time that I like right now with Link going up the Deku tree and all that would be me falling down the middle to my death because I can't do 3D. It's horrible. And let alone, he's going to have to make this jump in a hot second. Falling to my death because 3D games and we just don't mix. We just don't mix.
No, I respect
so
that.
I prefer my Zeldas in 2D. And also there was a Z targeting issue. And back in my day, whenever we played action RPGs, you'd get in front of the enemy, you'd hit the A button and you'd swing your sword. You didn't have to target anybody. You just swing your sword and that was the end of the day. But then they had this like Z target. It was very confusing to me. So I wasn't a huge fan of Ocarina of Time, I must say.
Yeah, one thing I would love to see more games do, the latest Dragon Quest, right? Dragon Quest 11, when they had their was it complete edition?
The S edition, right? And they did that 2D thing.
That is an awesome thing. Oh
my god, that is mint.
And I know for like a RPG, that's gonna be more simpler and easy for them to do versus a 3D action. Well, Zelda's not turn-based, so it would be a little bit more difficult, I guess. But dude, like if more games could do that and appeal to both audiences, right, and also have a more replayability in that front, I think that's like the best of both worlds.
The thing is, like, they could take this and they could turn it into a 2D. They could easily do it. Did you play the Link's Awakening remake?
No, I didn't.
Oh, that was so good. But you played Link's Awakening back in the Game Boy and stuff. Yeah. Oh my god, that remake, blew my mind.
Dang.
So good.
I have to check that out.
Yeah.
A lot. I mean, recently for me personally, I was absorbed in May, I think it was, when Tears of the Kingdom came out. And that game, I actually was gonna make a video talking about like this game almost made me quit making content.
Oh.
Because of how
it just like absorbed your life.
Absorbed my life.
Yeah.
Like I was just so like I wasn't even like playing through the story. I was just exploring. Exploring. I went to Hyrule Castle in the first like 2 hours, found the Hyrule Shield, and I still need to get the Master Sword, because the Hylian Shield, sorry. I still need to get the Master Sword because it's in the air in this one and you need enough stamina to get it. But it's just, I love that design personally, where like you can kind of go wherever you want,
like the open world sort of thing,
where you're not allowed to go there. I mean, well, technically you are allowed, but it's like a kind of go at your own risk type of thing. And I thought that approach is a really interesting one for that type of game, but it would be really cool to see 2D Zelda make a comeback.
I think that like, honestly, I think that you hit on $1 million idea right here, especially these simpler ones, Majora's Mask, these N64 ones, the GameCube ones, Wind Waker, things like that. They could turn that into a 2D, and they could put out this great HD remake of it, but then also bundle in a 2D version of it for extra replayability. I would love that. I'd be all about that. That'd be fantastic.
And I know it's like the development time on that, it could be a little tricky, but it's worth it.
It's worth it.
Yeah.
It's 100%
I think it's worth it.
It's worth it.
Nintendo, you got the resources,
Yeah.
you know?
And we're giving you the ideas. You got the resources. You make the game. So that's it for this week's new RPG news. Thank you all so much for joining us. Please let us know in the comments what story you're most excited about. Let me know if there's any stories that I didn't cover that you would like to see me cover next week. And thank you so much for coming to join me. We're going to be at TwitchCon, and it's going to be a blast this weekend.
I'm looking forward to it, and I hope you guys are too. If you are out there and you do see us, don't be afraid to come up and say hello.
Come on over, say hi. We're very friendly people.
Yeah, and let me know. I'll probably be filming a vlog too, so let me know if you want to be in that. That'll be really cool. I did that for 16.
I want to be in that. I want to be in your vlog.
You'll be in like all the videos, bro. What you mean? But thank you so much for inviting me on this. This is a lot of fun. I look forward to doing this. Maybe we'll do this podcast style.
That'd be nice. That'd be nice. Nice. Thank you so much.
Sick.